What if I told you the real reason people don't respect you is because you're trying too hard to be liked? Sounds harsh, right? But deep down you already feel it. You nod when you want to speak up. You laugh when it's not funny. You agree just to avoid tension. And every time you do, you teach the world one thing: I'll trade my power for your approval. Now pause. Imagine what would happen if you stopped doing that. If instead of trying to be liked, you became impossible to ignore. This isn't about becoming cruel. It's about becoming respected. And that journey starts now. So in this video, we'll dive deep into the Machiavellian mindset, the hidden psychology of respect, and why being liked is the fastest way to lose authority. You'll learn why boundaries beat friendliness, how to use silence as power, and why indifference is more magnetic than charm. If you've ever felt invisible in a room full of people, this is your wake-up call. This is not self-help fluff. This is mental warfare. Now, before we go deeper, if you're ready to shift from being liked to being respected, stick around till the end. Because what I'll reveal might make you uncomfortable, but it'll make you powerful. Here's the first truth no one told you: the people who chase being liked the most are the ones others respect the least. Why? Because when you try to please everyone, you stand for nothing. And deep down, humans don't admire weakness masked as kindness. They sense it. They exploit it. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." And before you flinch at the word fear, understand this: fear isn't brutality. Fear is certainty. It's the quiet strength that says, I don't need your approval because I approve of myself. The moment you internalize that, you stop explaining yourself. You stop overgiving, and you stop letting the room decide your worth. Respect doesn't come from how loud you speak. It comes from what you withhold. The less you say, the more they wonder. The less you reveal, the more they assume. And that mystery builds weight. Now listen carefully. The second you remove the addiction to being liked, you unlock the darker force of respect. Not because you chase it, but because you become it. You don't need to shout to own the room. You need presence. And presence is built in silence when you say less, but mean more. People respect what they can't read. They're drawn to the one who doesn't seek attention, but commands it anyway. Stop laughing too loud to fit in. Stop agreeing to keep peace. And stop explaining every move you make. Because the moment you become less available, you become more valuable. There's a power in being unreadable when no one can predict your next move. They stop trying to control you. Machiavellian leaders understood this. Unpredictability isn't chaos, it's control. It keeps others reactive while you remain deliberate. And here's what separates respected minds from forgotten ones. They're strategic with energy, precise with words, and ruthless with boundaries. If any of this is shifting something in you, you're already not like most. So keep going, and don't forget to stay close. We're just getting started. So when you start removing that need to be liked, you create psychological distance, and that distance is power. People become unsure of how to read you. They hesitate, recalibrate, and in that pause, you gain control. Because approval is a leash. But when you cut it, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable people get watched, followed, respected. You'll notice something strange. The less you chase validation, the more others seek yours. Not because you're louder, but because you're centered, grounded, unmoved. That's when your presence becomes a message. You don't have to prove your worth, it radiates. When you stop playing for approval and start commanding resonance, a subtle shift occurs. Your environment begins to rewrite itself around you. People you once tolerated start stepping aside. Opportunities you ignored begin knocking. And your presence, not your voice, becomes the invitation. Here's the strategy they don't teach. Value is created when you allow scarcity, not when you chase abundance. Approval floods you. Respect follows the quiet man who needs nothing. Start withdrawing your availability. Speak only when your words build bridges, not handouts. Walk away when your silence holds more weight than your noise. And while the world phones for likes, comments, confirmations, you're building a fortress, an inner citadel of focus, clarity, and dominance. Do this, and no application form, no interview, no favor will ever define you again. If this shift is real for you, prepare, because the next layer reveals the dark force behind presence, the hidden mechanism that turns respect into authority. Because here's what no one admits: respect isn't earned through performance. It's projected through perception. The most powerful people in history didn't beg to be heard. They were felt long before they were understood. And what made them untouchable wasn't charm. It was precision, controlled words, calculated silence, and the ruthless discipline to speak only when it shifted the atmosphere. That's the energy you must carry. Stop explaining yourself. Stop proving your worth. Let your standards speak louder than your voice. When your boundaries become law, not requests, people adjust. Not because you forced them, but because the presence you built left no other option. This is how quiet becomes louder than noise, and influence begins without announcement. So how do you build that kind of presence, the kind that speaks louder than words and commands respect without effort? It starts with removing anything that invites casualness. Your posture, your pace, your pauses, each must communicate that you're not here to be liked. You're here to be remembered. Slow your movements. Hold eye contact just 1 second longer than what's comfortable. Let silence fill the space instead of rushing to explain. People respect what they can't predict. That means speaking last in conversations, listening more than you share, and never reacting emotionally when provoked. Because when you remain centered while others spiral, your power becomes undeniable. Even your smallest actions, how you walk into a room, how you sit, how you observe, must reflect intentionality. No nervous gestures, no filler words, no apologies for existing. Respect is built in the moments where you withhold, not overshare. And when you master this, people begin to adapt to your energy without you saying a word. There's a moment in every powerful person's life when they stop chasing approval and start commanding space, not through arrogance, not through noise, but through self-mastery. That's the moment they stop being liked and start being respected. Because when people sense that you no longer need their validation, that's when they give it to you the most. Respect isn't about shouting louder. It's about removing anything that dulls your edge, the way you speak, the way you move, the way you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's built in silence, in patience, in the power to walk away without explaining yourself. And if you've made it this far, here's what that tells me. You're done being underestimated. You're done diluting your presence just to keep people comfortable. Now it's time to flip the energy. Start showing up with the kind of stillness that makes others second-guess themselves. Start treating every room like it's already yours, not because you demand it, but because you've earned it in your mind long before you entered. And if this video sparked something in you, share it, like it, subscribe, because someone else out there is still stuck in approval mode, and your one move might shift their mindset forever. Now I'll leave you with this question, one that separates those who say they want respect from those who actually command it. Would you still act the same if no one clapped?